siarad yn Saesneg, mostly, achos, yeah, I did this the other day in English, and I'm just going to go back to that. So I'm from Henllys Teaching Welsh School. A little bit about us. We're set in a residential community in the edge of Cwmbran. We are a church school and part of the St Albans cluster with the Catholic schools. We have, you'll see our EFSM is below the national average and no pupils speak Welsh at home. So, Cymraeg yn ein hysgol ni. So, blwyddyn 3 to blwyddyn 6 using the antir anhygoel packs. Dosbarth derbyn blwyddyn 2 are using the whole dan saith packs. One member of staff has attended the Welsh sabbatical course, me. Seems like forever ago now. We have the Cymraeg campus Gwobr Efydd, we're working towards Gwobr Arian. Welsh is a big focus in our cluster this year, and we've been looking mainly at blwyddyn 3 to blwyddyn 6. And Welsh will continue to be a big focus on our SDP next year, with hoping to get a Gwobr Arian by the end of the summer. I'll ignore that bit, that was for the other day. So I'm here because I've taken part in the project with the EAS where I'm released from class for 19 days across the year to work on something for our school. So it was really lovely to have that opportunity to use and further develop the skills that I learned on the course and to develop something that would be particularly beneficial to us. In our school, we're really trying to build children's confidence to use the language within and outside the classroom, and this seemed like a really good opportunity to do that. So what did I choose to do? I chose to focus on Welsh across the curriculum, with a specific focus on our younger learners, because our cluster were looking at year 3 to 6, I chose to look at the younger children. Wanted to be introducing and revising language patterns, but in a new context, making links across the curriculum clear, meaningful and effective, and also hopefully developing a resource that could support other staff who are maybe not quite as confident, not quite as skilled in their language, but to allow them to be able to pick up the pack and run with it. So obviously I use the continuum as my basis, as my starting point. And my work so far, I've had an initial focus on blwyddyn 1. Talking to the children in blwyddyn 1, they were very into animals and things at that point, so we chose an goedwig as the topic. And then for that topic, I've developed resources for the different AOLEs, and within each AOLE file we have the planning document and the resources. A huge diolch yn fawr iawn to Rhian for the Mr Envis pack, because I've taken the same framework really, because in our school we're absolutely loving Mr Envis, and just the fact that it's all there ready to go across the curriculum and easy for staff. So I sort of built on that for a year 1 pack. So in the planning, we've got the statements from the progression steps, we've got activity ideas, and then in purple are all the language patterns that staff can use. So those are very repetitive throughout the pack, but to try and build that confidence for the staff to use that language naturally across the curriculum, because of course then the children will follow. So just an example of the LLC resources in there. So there's a book that I wrote that I won't win any prizes for, but there's a book called Betsy and the Goedwig, which the children absolutely love. It's printed out, it's in our class, and there are children reading it all day, every day. Some of the games from the course that we know very well, so the language games to introduce the vocab, the sentence builders, lots of word wall games, children are loving word wall at the moment, translation games, just lots of resources. That list has grown since I took that screenshot as well, but there is lots there ready to pick up and ready to go. So in class, what have we done? So we've had obviously our focus activities. So we started off with the ysgrifennu cyfrifau, getting the children really familiar with those vocab words. We had Dwi'n clywed, Dwi'n dweud, which they absolutely love. We developed their reading with their matching of pictures to the words, and then we did the same on word wall, which again just developing those skills in a slightly different way. They absolutely love the word searches. I'm not going to play all the videos because we will be here forever. But lots and lots of different ways in there just to develop that vocab before we went on to...
Go on, Alex.
Shall we watch it? Sorry.
Nice.
Excuse my voice.
Oh, Diane, Alex.
If you haven't used the word search on Word, it's great because it mixes the words up every time. They're always in a different place.
dry nog. Good boy. Annie, Claire, have you found one? Go on then. Fancy, get it. Annie, pick your mods in.
So the children are building up that vocab so well, and it has stuck with them. It's been really, really lovely to see and hear. After obviously the initial vocab, then we looked at different language patterns. The children are using sentence builders. I've corrected the mistake. I've taken the off. I forgot to put all the mutations on that one. So the children were using sentence builders. We did a treasure hunt around. It should have been forest school, but the weather was atrocious, so we did the treasure hunt around the classroom. But children across all levels in the class were using the language builder to use their prepositions to make the sentence, and it was a really, really lovely thing to see. We went on to use the words will spin you. Oh no, let me do it now. So using the words will wheel for the children to build up the questioning and using the whole sentence. Lil, Beth, Lil, Beth. So you're working on a Dwyngallu Gweld sentence, yeah? Okay. The excitement, bless them, they're so engaged with this topic. Lil, Beth. Tween. I won't make you sit through them all, but once we built on Dwyngallu Gweld, and we used some reading activities and things for that, we introduced Dwyngallu Clywed, and then we went on to prepositions and the oesgwywer and y goeden, so we did yna, ara and wrtha, and the children are now working on building up the sentences with those prepositions in as well. And it's really lovely, they are using those around and about the classroom completely independently as well. If someone's looking for the pencil sharpener, someone will say, it's ara shelf, it's this, so they're putting them in, it's absolutely lovely. This was an activity that they wanted to do. We had an empty display board outside the classroom, so they asked if they could put a goedwig on there. So we did the picture first, and then the children were encouraged then to label the different things from the goedwig. But then as we moved on and introduced the different language patterns, the children were choosing to write out sentences explaining where things were. So that was as part of, it was improvision, they chose to do it themselves. They would come and ask for a bit of help if they needed it. But all those language patterns that we had built on, they were then choosing to use. So we had the my draen og wrtha, we've got the Dwyngallu Gweld, we've got the question oes cwningen wrth yr afon. So, and that was them choosing and then me did. And it's something we're very proud of. So moving on, the written work is, it's blown me away actually. They're really, really working hard. So this was a focus activity, but by this point we'd done so much with the language pattern and sentence builders that these were written without that support. The children are so, they've just seen it so much and they are working really well with it. So this young man started off using a few prepositions and then went to the simple Dwyngallu Gweld, which is absolutely lovely. And then this young lady, she's loving writing in Welsh and always wants to write in Welsh, and she's got to the point where if she doesn't know the Welsh word, she throws in her English quite happily. So we've got the cwningen is on a hedge, we've got the adarin is pecking a coeden. But you know, that was totally independent work from this young lady, which is fantastic. So after possibly half a term, we've got our range of different sentences that we've been reading and getting to know. So we've got the transgain cyfieithu. So here the children were either reading the sentence and then their friend was translating and then they swapped, or they did both. So this young man just here.
Ta iawn, dwi'n gallu gweld cwningen bach.
Ready, tricky one.
one more.
I guess I'll read the last one.
Go on then. Dwi'n gallu gweld blodyn coch, da iawn. Wow, da
So you
iawn.
can say they've just built up that knowledge, that reading, some of the reading as well in the class, even going and picking up flick and flap books now that they've never touched before. I showed Sian a video the other day of a young lady who picked up a book we haven't read in class, and she simply read throughout the whole thing. There were maybe 3 words she got stuck on, but because they've had so much exposure to the Welsh language and hearing those sounds and those phonics, absolutely blew me away. It's fantastic. So just an independent provision now, just things the children have chosen to do. So once we had done our coeden outside on the display, they decided they wanted to do their own collages. So they went into the creative area, created their pictures, and then without their flashcards or anything, they were writing the labels for what they have in their coeden pictures, which was lovely. This young lady painted in the creative corner some of her Welsh vocab in different colours, and then made her own little song, which I'm going to play because it is cute. But
We were
so she sang it so confidently, and obviously I didn't have a camera ready, so that was a little bit nervous then. But the reading, so this is the book that I've put into the pack that is in the class ready for children to use. So this was a young lady being recorded by her friend. So excuse some of the camera work. So the book sort of repeats that phrasing throughout, and then about halfway through the sentence pattern change to get in the ble mai and the mai cwning en ara. This young man, I'm not going to play this video because it is 3 minutes long, but this is a very reluctant reader. If in provision, he will always be found in the blocks or outside, but one day they upload their own things to Seesaw, and then at the end of the day I'll go through and edit what's needed and what's not. And I found this video of this young man picked up the book, his friend is recording him, and he read the first bit because he knew it so well, he read. And then he got to the ble mai drainog, he turned to the page and he looked at the camera and went, oh, this is the tricky bit. And he did it, and he was really focusing on those words, and it was just so lovely to see. So the independent writing we're getting in provision, so absolutely no input. We have sentence builders within the classroom that we've used in the past, that the children have used in lessons and loved them, but then they've never gone back to them. Since doing this project, the children are going back to those old sentence builders and using those in their own time. Our Litleys are absolutely loving learning the words and writing those words and practicing the vocab. And then this young lady is the one who wrote this. She wanted to write a story about the forest. So she's got all those language patterns are doing Gathri Clywed, they're doing Gathri Gweld, and then we've sort of started introducing mini beasts as well. So she's got her Mogrigan Bach and her Buchel Gotter at the end as well. But that is totally from memory. There was nothing there to help support her there. So, and that's not just, she's not the only one doing that, you know, it's absolutely lovely. This is the last one. So this is the young lady who wrote her own Betsy and a Goedwig book in provision. Please excuse the young man who thinks he's helping by pointing to words. You can see the moment she gets fed up with that.
Betsy and a Goedwig by Olive and Henry. Mr. Goody who after me, Betsy and a Goedwig. Dwi'n gallu gweld Pilly Palla. Hello Pilly Palla. Hello Mr. Goody who. Dwi'n gallu gweld Broga. Hello Broga. Hello Mr. Goody who. Betsy and a Goedwig. Dwi'n gallu gweld Brewer. Hello Brewer. Hello Mr. Goody who. Betsy and a Goedwig.
So again, that was in provision, independent, because their engagement and their enthusiasm for the Welsh language has increased hugely. So Betsy wedi digwydd, so what's happened so far? So we've had the Goedwig unit being used in Year 1. It has been shared with the cluster schools now, so hopefully they might start using that and giving some feedback. The children's love and enthusiasm for the language has increased exponentially. It's absolutely huge. I can't believe the just the enthusiasm they have for it. Their confidence when speaking, reading and writing has increased, as you can see from what they're doing in their provision. There's a definite increase in the amount that they're using their language outside of Welsh lessons. For example, we went out onto the yard a few weeks ago, and we have lots of wildlife around us, we're very lucky, and one of them came running up to me shouting, "Dwi'n gallu gweld Brewer!" and pointing across the yard. So just within that moment, the Welsh came first, which was brilliant. And of course, you've just seen the increased amount of engagement in child-led activities and provision. So going along the same lines, I'm just coming to the end of creating another AV unit for Dosbarth Derrbyn as well. So that will be able to be shared out too. But the impact of this project on the school has been immense. So yeah.